Secretary Hoffman.
Okay. It's my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, Lieutenant Governor Brian Dubie. We've had the good fortune over the last number of years, as I think I mentioned to you when I visited recently, to really try and upgrade and emphasize the importance of the new blood, the energy, and new colleagues that are coming into the department, and get some of the prominent leaders in Vermont to come and honor you and celebrate your accomplishment. So we have had people from all three branches of government, across political parties. We've had the Supreme Justice of the Vermont Supreme Court. We've had the leaders in the legislature. We've had the governor and the lieutenant governor join us. We've been very, very fortunate in that score. And not too long ago, the brother of the lieutenant governor, General Mike Dubie, was here and welcomed a new class at the same time when we celebrated and remembered our colleagues who are serving overseas. The Lieutenant Governor is an extraordinary person. He's somebody that has served our state and our nation in a variety of different capacities. But I think one thing that's remarkable is how down-to-earth he is. I mean, this is the person that you could borrow the lawnmower from next door. He's, in so many ways, carries himself just like all of us, ordinary citizens of the state, a very humble person, a very accomplished person, but a very regular guy. A regular guy with the exception of the fact that he can fly fighter jets and big commercial airline planes. But with no further ado, I'll introduce Vermont's Lieutenant Governor Brian Dubie.
Well, thank you very much for that kind introduction. It is a privilege to be here. And I did compare notes with my brother, the Adjutant General. He's a tough act to follow, but it is my privilege. I love hearing kids cry, so just don't worry about that. This is kind of like being in church. Everyone's been great. So it is my privilege as your Lieutenant Governor, on behalf of Governor Jim Douglas, who is at another event, welcoming new citizens to our country, to stand before you and congratulate you on your success. As we've heard, everyone who started this class didn't finish this class. You started with 30. I sit before you, I stand before you, and congratulate the 25 that did graduate. That number speaks to the intensity of your training, the outstanding job that your training leadership did, and why it's so important to do the training. You have an awesome responsibility. As Secretary Hoffman said, I am a pilot. And in many ways, when I reflect upon the responsibilities that you have, I think we have much in common. First, we work a lot of nights and weekends. I've missed a lot of Christmases and a lot of Thanksgiving to really provide services in the military or as an airline pilot to people who, the traveling public, or defending our nation deployed away from our loved ones. And you're going to have the same kind of responsibilities. You know, I've got 25 years of safely flying airplanes, 20 years with a commercial airline. And one mistake, there are huge consequences. And when I think about the responsibilities and the expectations of those who serve in corrections, you have that same type of responsibilities. The responsibility that you took an oath, that you just accepted freely without any mental reservation, is a huge commitment, and it's a huge responsibility, and we know you're up to that responsibility of that oath. And you're going to have a lifetime of careers and a lifetime of decisions to make, and today, the celebration of the completion of your training is just the start of that additional training that you'll have, and we hope to see you, to encourage you as you do your professional development going forward. I have a lot of sympathy for you because I spent a lot of time across the street in the legislature. And it's easy to sit in a committee room and to pass laws, but you are on the front lines of those laws. Once again, as a fighter pilot who's been on the front lines of U.S. foreign policy, I'm very sympathetic with you and your families with the fact that you are representing the people's will as expressed in the laws. I was very impressed with your oath, and also the first block of your formal instruction is ethics. I would encourage you, just as I know all the rules, try to understand all the regulations, be an expert on regulations, Because at the end of the day, if you can, the regulations were written by people who've come before you and compiled those regulations through best practices. So I would encourage you to understand the regulations and the rules. That's important.